Welcome to Halo Pro Center, your number one source for professional Halo news.
Welcome to Halo Pro Center. My name is John OFSREagle Hyde, and I'm joined today by...
Hi, my name is Caleb AwelessLife Harms, and welcome to Halo Pro Center.
Today we are going to be talking about the upcoming event in New Orleans, not just for Halo 5, but for Gears of War 4 as well. We're excited to bring you the most recent and up-to-date news regarding the Halo esports scene, and we have a lot of news coming up for this upcoming weekend. We're going to be talking about the different teams competing, the MLG 2K standings, and everything else in between. So today we have a lot to go over, and we're going to get started with the teams competing this weekend at NOLA. So for starters, we have Reciprocity, Tox, Renegades, Lucid is a European team, Fable Esports as well. And then we also have Fung 4, Gosu Crew, Hitman, Lux Gaming, Elevate, brand new roster, and Verticon as well. There's a big variety of different rosters with these. They've been changing in the past few months, even to last few days leading up to this. And there's a lot of dynamics that we can even just talk really quick about. So for the first part, I think one of the biggest things that's on a lot of people's minds is coming out of the Halo World Cup Championship that was just a few months ago. There's been a big dynamic change. For instance, Caleb, let's switch to you. What has been your thoughts with the recent 2K results?
So, I'm happy you brought this up. Looking at the past 3 2Ks, we see Reciprocity, in my opinion, showing up. I think that Saiyan has probably become one of my more favorite Halo pros now. Just seeing the way that he is able to work with Reciprocity on his recent streams with their 2Ks and their scrims is just amazing. But Reciprocity has won 2 of the most recent 2Ks, dominating teams like Renegades and stuff, and beating Tox, I believe, 10-5. And honestly, it's just awesome. And looking at the data that we have gotten and looked at from the 2Ks, I honestly think Reciprocity is going to be either number 1 or I'd say number 2, if not number 1 in this league. Because Splice, they're not showing up.
Yeah.
But I know you and a lot of people are saying that Splice is doing something crazy. What is that, Eagle?
Yeah, so for any of you guys who know me, I am a big fan of Splice. Shotzi particularly. I love their aggression that they showed in the Halo World Cup, and my first thought as soon as they won the Halo World Cup was I knew they were going to win it, but now that with the recent game setting changes that Halo and 343 Industries have made for the competitive settings, they took out Spartan Charge and Ground Pound, if you haven't heard. And I'm sure you have, but if you didn't know, they did that, and that was in an attempt to slow down the gameplay. And it seemed to be almost directed at Splice, is what a lot of people said. And from the recent scrims and the 2K results, Splice is not high in the seeding leading into this NOLA event. In fact, they are seeded, I believe, 5th, and they are in Group D for the this NOLA event coming in. And it is not a normal seeding that they have normally been experiencing in events past, and it has really been something that we've never really experienced with Splice before. And so one thing that I personally thought was possibly that in light of past seasons, Splice decided not to scrim anyone. All they did was money twos against 2v2s against themselves, and that was to help hone their communication with each other. And they didn't want to kind of share any tactics and strategies for other teams to then have knowledge about. But it seems that they're kind of like now forced to scrim, and I thought maybe one idea is that they're actually not performing well at all in these scrims and in these 2Ks, just so that they can divulge as little information as possible leading up to this event. I've heard a lot of them say that they are still confident in this event, that they're going to take it home. But I must agree with Caleb that Reciprocity has been dominating and is really taking me back. I love Snipe Down. And I especially love Saiyan as well. I do believe he is one of the most biggest and one of the biggest playmakers in the game right now. But I'm still a Splice fan. But even I must say that it seems that Reciprocity really is holding a big challenge for Splice. And even Tox, they have not, Tox to me is not going to even compete with Reciprocity just from what we've seen. So I honestly don't know what to expect. I know it, especially on land, it can go any way, but I do feel like just coming in with the amount of energy that they have, Reciprocity really is going to be the team to beat right now. One of the things that I did that did catch me by surprise was the fact that with all these roster changes in light of 2 months ago, Team Envy is dropping their Halo roster completely. I do believe that for the Halo World Cup, they had a great team with Trippy and Saiyan and Boo Boo Doo Boo. And
Pistola.
Yeah, and Pistola. It did seem like there was a lot of magic there, but now with this new Reciprocity roster, it just seems to have even more power behind it. And now to see Boo Boo Doo Boo and Ace team up under the Team Hitmen, Ace is one of the older competitors in this entire league right now, along with Ola and Snipe Down. And to see it now split, it used to be kind of stacked together, but now to see it split, I'm very confused as to why these decisions were made, and to see if it will really kind of reveal any potential in these teams for such a fresh new take. I mean, even for Elevate, Spartan that used to run with Reciprocity is now running with L-Town and Falcade and Sabinator. He used to come from Team Elevate a long time ago, and now he's back with them.
Yeah, back in the H2A days.
Yeah, and so these are things that I'm myself am questioning these decisions, but you never know. With Reciprocity, there was some small little changes, and it just seemed to be the right mixture that just lit a big fire. We might see that in this event.
Yeah, definitely. And to go back to your point about these smaller teams, seeing Ace teaming with Boo Boo Doo Boo, Arctic, and Demon D, it's almost like all the good. It's like the classic elementary school dodgeball game. You have the two captains, being the top teams picking the best players that they want, and now you have the kids who maybe are able to compete with the top kids, but they aren't the top picks, so therefore they're getting shoved down, having to play with these lower level players. And that's not a shot at any of these other teams like Trifecta and Hitman and Elevate and stuff. It's almost like the good kids are getting taken, and the kids who can compete there are now well, I'm good enough to compete, right, but I'm scrambling to find a team that I can run with. And honestly, it seems like it's going to be really, really hard for these teams that aren't making the top 5, top 6 to really get up there and compete if they haven't been together. And I believe today that either today or this week that Ace just left, he left, what was it? Straight Rippin'
right,
to go team with Boo Boo Doo Boo. And it's just one of those things where what's going on?
Yeah, it leaves you a little confused, right?
Yeah, did they not work well together? So it's definitely, and I feel like it's always like this, that most people don't really, unless you're someone who your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday have nothing going on, most people aren't going to pay attention unless you're a team that's within top 6 or you're making some insane plays. So I think it's going to be really hard for some of these people who have been around for a long time, Ace being in the Halo 4, and other people being back from H2A and beforehand, to really get back up to the top and make their name still relevant.
One of the biggest things that has caught me off guard is the exclusion of some people that I was looking forward to seeing in this event. For example, Tapping Buttons. He's not picked up in any roster right now. And I was really looking forward to seeing him. And, it just makes me wonder, I don't know if it was due to, location, with him being back in Mexico, where he's from. But I was looking forward to seeing him being in a roster. but I don't know. And now I'm left
We
wondering.
also do see and sorry to take this from you, but I
Yeah.
am a huge Evil Genius
Yeah.
fan.
Yep.
Shout out to my older brother who got me hooked on them. I love Ryan Towie and the Twins.
Yeah.
And being, Roy left, and then we have Lunchbox, and honestly, I think we can all agree that Lunchbox hasn't really been anyone who's performing out of the ordinary,
Right.
in comparison to his normal performance. So, I mean, being a fan and having that nostalgia, it's going to be kind of hard for me to not see him there.
Yeah.
It was always someone like, I mean, Worlds, I looked out for when Renegades was playing just to see Lunchbox playing. So it's definitely going to be weird for me not to hear his name or see him playing or anything. But, I guess, brother like brother, and,
Maybe he called it
life
time.
is Tao, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of different talent here this weekend, and we're really excited to share with you as it progresses, as updates come, as the results come in from the end of the day. We'll be bringing that all up to date with you. One thing we did want to let you know is just a little bit more info about the venue. So it's if you didn't know, it's going to be at New Orleans. In fact, a lot of the players flew out Thursday, even Wednesday, before the event, and started to get acclimated a bit. And the actual event is from July 13th through the 15th. It's at the New Orleans Memorial Convention Center. And in fact, I even saw a few pro players tweet out, like they had the banner on the building that showed the Halo and the Gears of War banner put together. In fact, I believe Tashi was out there today with iHeartRadio actually doing a radio spot to talk more about the event and raise awareness for it. Really excited for that. I did also want to bring up, we're going to be now switching over to the 2K standings and how it led into the pools and how they're distributed right now. So real quick, we're just going to name off the groups real quick. If Caleb, you want to take that.
Yeah, so for sure. So in Group A, we have Reciprocity, and then we have Straight Rippin', Athletico, and then what is that last team?
Yeah, so every group, the last seed of every group is an open team because they are doing an open bracket starting tomorrow, and so that will fill in those last 4 spots for each group, just in case there's might be almost like a wild cards, if you would. One thing I did want to point out is we didn't talk about the Straight Rippin' roster. Officially, the Straight Rippin' roster is Nemesis, Destroyed, Rammy, and Straight Sick. Straight Sick has come from Oxygen Supremacy following last season, and in fact, only just yesterday, at the time of this recording, it was Nemesis, Destroyed, Straight Sick, and Ace. And Ace, if you've followed Halo Esports for a while, has been with Straight Rippin' for a long time. And only recently in the past season did he leave Straight Rippin' to go with Renegades. Now, when he left, he was actually announced back to Straight Rippin'. In fact, the banner said, "Welcome home," and it showed Straight Sick and Ace, and I was personally excited about it, because that's, when I first got into Halo Esports, that was one of the first teams I saw, along with Evil Geniuses, and I was connected Ace with Straight Rippin', and now that he's not on it, only yesterday it was announced with Hitman, and they put Rammy back into the roster. Again, those are interesting choices that none of us expected, but yeah, like you said, they're in Group A with Athletico, and like I said, every group will have the last spot will be an open team that will be filled in tomorrow by or today, whenever you're seeing this, but it will be filled in by the open bracket. So go ahead and go with Group B.
Yeah, so in Group B, we have Tox Gaming, Hitman, Fable Esports, which is a European team.
Right. Group C, we have Renegades, and that roster includes Mikwin, APG, Penguin, and it also includes, besides those, Neptune. He's a new young player, has a lot of talent, has a lot to say as well, but definitely has a lot of talent there, so they changed up that roster. We also have, what is that?
Berserker.
Berserker Esports. I believe they're let's see here. I believe they are oh no, they are the Australian team. Lux Gaming is from America as well. And then again, we have that open bracket. And then for Group
D, we have
yeah.
Elevate, Lucid, and Splice.
For Splice to be seated in Group D, I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. What are your thoughts on Splice being put so low in the bracket?
Honestly, I mean, like we said earlier with the 2K standings, and I think that you brought up a good point where they might be trying to make, give everyone a false, kind of throw up a, outside look, like maybe we are performing bad, maybe we're not. And honestly, to me, I think that is a very risky play if they are doing it. It's very, very risky because I'm someone who strongly believes that if you're not constantly playing people who are equivalent skill or better than you, you're going to start falling behind pretty quickly, And so I think, like we remember Splice saying, we're the best four in all of Halo, at that moment. I think that, if they're going with the strategy of just keep playing each other in 2v2s, if they are the best players, which, arguably they are from the recent world event, then, maybe they are going to be staying on top of their game and being able to, hang out with the top pros, like it's nothing, like we've seen them do at Worlds. But then again, we also can arguably say that these other top teams have really improved their game. I mean, they've had, 2 months since Worlds. That a lot can happen in that time.
To really learn from what happened at Halo.
Especially, and being in, and that's the position that is hard, being the top dog. And I think that's something that, maybe could have been why Tox fell to Splice, is because Tox hadn't lost.
Right.
They were just winning. So it's a lot harder for you whenever you're winning to pick out the things that you did bad at, because there's so much stuff that you are doing good. And then you could say that, oh well, you're making bad plays and stuff, and you can always pick up on that, but it's so much harder to make yourself better when you're the best.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe we're gonna see that with Splice bringing in their very, very original and different idea of an approach to the Halo Pro scene.
Yeah. I mean, to go from winning Worlds to now being in the bottom seeding, to me, that in 3 months' time, I don't think that's just like a natural occurrence where, we're just, they lost that amount of skill, because they dominated. It isn't like they barely cut it with Halo. They dominated Halo.
They made it look like it was,
walking park.
Making pizzas.
Yeah, I mean, literally at the end, as soon as they won, when the lady asked, how do they feel, and Renegade pulls out the Staples button, that was easy. Like, you can just see the air of confidence they had, to a fault, but they were performing at such a level that no one had really seen. And then to go to now the bottom seed, like to perform the worst, I don't think that's just, that's coincidence. They lost. You can't lose that amount of skill in that short amount of time. So I feel like there's something else that maybe they're playing at, but again, we'll have to see. So in order to wrap this up, I do want to ask, what are your predictions for how this New Orleans event will go?
Honestly, it's very difficult, to be frank with you, Eagle, but I am going to go with, in first place, Reciprocity. Second place, Tox. And, I take it back. I think we're going to see Tox take first place, Reciprocity take second. I mean, after watching the Tox scrims and Reciprocity scrims, I think that being the experience and the playtime that Tox has, I can't see them losing this event if we take Splice out of the picture and what they've done in the past. I can't see them losing this event. But with how good Reciprocity is doing, there is absolutely no way that they're not going to take at least second place. But once we take in Splice,
Yeah.
You know, that is a wild card. Literally a wild card.
Yeah. You don't know if are they actually doing that poorly, or are they just holding out and bringing in a Falcon Punch for land? I can't tell.
Exactly. Well, guys,
yeah.
I guess we're just gonna have to find out. Thank you so much for watching, and again, welcome to Halo Pro Center. We're happy to bring this show to you guys. My name is Caleb, AwelessLife Harms.
My name is John, OFSREagle Hyde.
And that's the end of this video. Thank you guys. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.